It starts with a terror that hangs over a town like thick gray smog. A serial killer is hunting women in Yorkshire, and the fear is so palpable you can practically taste the metallic tang of blood and rain in the air. But this isn't a police procedural. It's a coming-of-age story seen through the eyes of a young girl named Miv, who decides that the only way to save her family is to catch the Yorkshire Ripper herself. Miv is 12 going on 13, sharp-witted but deeply lonely, living in a house suffocated by silence. Her mother has stopped speaking, just completely checked out of reality, and her dad, Austin, is talking about moving the family down south to escape the gloom. For Miv, leaving Yorkshire means leaving Sharon, her blonde, bubbly best friend who is the only bright spot in her drab existence. Desperate to stay put, Miv concocts a plan that feels innocent but is actually incredibly dangerous. She and Sharon will make a list of all the suspicious men in their town, investigate them, catch the Ripper, and become heroes so her dad won't make them move. It sounds like a quirky kid's adventure, right? But hold on, because this book gets real, dark, and heartbreaking fast. They start their list. First up is Mr. Bashir, the Pakistani shopkeeper. Why? Because he's different and has a mustache. It's cringy to watch Miv navigate the casual racism of the 1970s, but she learns fast. They befriend him and his son, Ishtiaq, and quickly realize Mr. Bashir is just a kind, grieving widower. In fact, a sweet, forbidden romance starts blooming between Sharon and Ishtiaq, which is adorable, but also stressful because the local racist bullies, led by a kid named Reese, are constantly harassing them. Next on the list is their angry teacher, Mr. Ware, and then the local rag and bone man, Arthur. Miv and Sharon are sneaking into scrapyards and derelict mills, places where bodies could definitely be hidden. They find Arthur living in a porta-cabin, not because he's a killer, but because he's heartbroken over his late wife. It's gut-wrenching. The girls actually end up befriending him, and we see that Miv isn't just nosy, she's desperately looking for connection. But the list gets darker. They investigate Mrs. Andrews, the librarian, because she's acting weird and has bruises. Miv thinks maybe she's hiding the Ripper. The reality is much uglier. Her husband, Gary, is an abusive monster. Miv actually witnesses the abuse and calls the ambulance, saving her. It's a massive win for Miv's courage, but it strips away her innocence piece by piece. Then things take a tragic turn. Miv suspects a socially awkward man named Brian who wears overalls and stares at things. She reports him to the police, thinking he might be the arsonist who torched Mr. Bashir's shop. But Brian isn't the arsonist, he's just a misunderstood mentally ill man. The police pressure breaks him, and major trigger warning here, Brian dies by suicide. Miv is absolutely crushed by the guilt. She realizes this isn't a game. Her actions have real-world consequences, and she almost stops the investigation entirely. But she can't stop, because the suspicion turns toward her own home. Miv starts noticing her dad sneaking out at night. He's taking hushed phone calls. He fits the profile. It is a stomach-churning moment when Miv follows him into the night, terrified that her own father is the Yorkshire Ripper. She tracks him through the dark streets, heart-pounding, only to see him enter Sharon's house. He's not killing anyone. He's having an affair with Sharon's mom, Ruby. It's a betrayal that feels almost as bad as murder to Miv. Her world is fracturing. Amidst all this family drama, the threat of the school bullies, Neil and Reese, escalates. Reese is genuinely psychopathic, terrorizing Sharon and Ishtiaq. Miv is trying to hold it all together, but she's unraveling. She decides to investigate one last location, the abandoned Healy Mill. It's the ultimate creepy hideout. This leads to the book's shattering climax. It's winter, snowy and freezing. Miv goes to the mill alone, but Sharon, Ishtiaq, and a new friend, Paul, track her down to bring her home. It's a sweet moment of friendship under the stars on the mill roof, until the bullies show up. Reese and Neil corner them. Reese is unhinged, spewing racist hate at Ishtiaq and turning his rage on Sharon. A scuffle breaks out. It's chaotic and terrifying. Reese shoves Sharon, and she falls. It happens in a heartbeat. Sharon, the golden girl, the other half of Miv's soul, falls from the roof to her death. It is absolutely devastating. You keep waiting for a miracle, for her to wake up in the hospital, but she doesn't. She's gone. The aftermath is bleak but essential. Miv is drowning in grief, blaming herself for everything, the list, the mill, the secrets. But this tragedy finally breaks the silence in her own home. Her mother, who has been a ghost for years, finally speaks. She reveals why she went away inside her head. Years ago, she was attacked by a man, likely the Ripper or someone just like him, and she's been living in frozen trauma ever since. It wasn't Miv's fault. Miv's dad ends the affair with Sharon's mom. The community is left to pick up the pieces, and then the news breaks. The Yorkshire Ripper, Peter Sutcliffe, is caught. He was just a lorry driver. Miv's dad realizes he knew him, worked with him. The evil was mundane and right under their noses the whole time. The story ends not with a neat bow, but with the slow, painful process of healing. Miv visits the new shop Mr. Bashir opens. She sees life continuing. She realizes that while she couldn't save Sharon, the love they shared shaped who she is. She closes her notebook, the list finally finished, and steps into a future that is scarier but more honest than the one she started in. It leaves you wondering, in a world full of monsters, are the secrets we keep to protect ourselves actually the things that hurt us the most? If you want more deep dives into stories that will absolutely wreck you and then put you back together, make sure to hit that like button, drop a comment on who you suspected first, and subscribe for more recaps.